This is the historical marker for the Medicine Lodge peace treaties. At Medicine Lodge Creek in 1867, as many as 15,000 Apaches, Kiowas, Comanches, Arapahoes, and Cheyenne gathered with a 7-member peace commission escorted by U.S. soldiers to conduct one of the nation's largest peace councils. The American Indian Nation selected this traditional ceremonial site for the nearly 2-week council. Chief Santanta, Little Raven, and Black Kettle gave speeches, held ceremonies, and entered negotiations. They produced 3 treaties that reduced the size of each of their lands and allowed for the construction of railroads and eventual settlement. Santana, Kiowa chief, said, "I come to say that the Kiowas and Comanches have made with you a peace, and they intend to keep it. If it brings prosperity to us, we of course will like it the better." Some chiefs signed the treaties without popular support. Others misunderstood the agreements and later renounced them. When the agreements failed, the government responded with force. 13 months later, Cheyenne Chief Black Kettle died in an attack by the 7th Cavalry at Washita Creek, Oklahoma. And what's interesting about this medicine treaty was in 1868, after this treaty, the transfer of Bureau of Indian Affairs would be transferred to the War Department of the United States, and the government would cease to recognize tribes as domestic dependent nations. Roman Nose, the war chief of the Dog Soldiers of the Northern Cheyenne, was also present here, and he protested the treaties because he knew it would lead to them losing their hunting ground, because at this time this was a popular hunting place for buffalo for the tribes. There were millions of buffalo still present in the area. Tin Bears of the Comanche, he was the chief, and he was the one that suggested the place of Medicine Lodge Creek or Medicine Lodge River for the place of this meeting. And those that helped gather the tribes together, one was George Bent, who helped gather the chiefs together with William Griffenstein and Jesse Chisholm. And they would go around northern Kansas and meet with the various tribes to gather them here. Of course, George Bent was the son of William Bent, the founder of Bent's Fort. And William Griffenstein, what's interesting about him is he married a Cheyenne woman from Black Kettle's camp, and they referred to her as Cheyenne Jenny. She died of tuberculosis in 1868, and she was a negotiator. She was a very intelligent and wise woman, and she negotiated a lot of surrender for the tribes to surrender white women captives that they had. And there is it's been stated by some that had she not died, she possibly could have prevented the Washita massacre led by the 7th Cavalry and the killing of Black Kettle. She died just before the Washita, and she was a very successful, influential leader and respected woman among the tribes, and she was the wife of William Griffenstein. William Griffenstein was a very close friend to the tribes, and he was down in the Washita area. He was selling goods and giving goods to the tribes, and he was threatened with jail, and so he left and returned back up into the Wichita area on the Arkansas, where he was one of the founders of Wichita. Prior to this, the tribes met at Fort Larned, and the next year after this treaty, Fort Larned would see the highest number of troops that was ever recorded in the history of Fort Larned there in Kansas before it closed. And so this is the area, this is north of Medicine Lodge, and just about 1.5 miles or so south of this area is where the actual Medicine Treaty was signed.